All right, guys, I'm going to be honest. We're working with a different type of intro today, and I would imagine this little one is going to make some noise over here. So I forgot to end up recording the intro to our video that we actually made while I was doing it, and now I literally do not have any silence to record the video, and shockingly, it's going okay so far. So different kind of video today, guys. After being involved with certain amount of drama growing as a YouTuber, I know we made a video talking about this, but I was having a very, very nice conversation with Twisty Chase in private, and then I was thinking, you know what? I think this would be pretty cool to make into a video. So like we're playing Fortnite, having a podcast type style video today. I was talking to PBJ2, excuse you. I was talking to PBJ2, ended up inviting him, and then we just wanted to have a free-flowing conversation about hate within the community. It's a hot topic right now, and I've been experiencing it more, as I've said in the most recent podcast, as time has gone on, and it's very important to note we're going to dive into a wide range of topics. There is no particular person that we are shouting out, because I know there's one video that's been going around that's a little bit more recent, but it's more so about the overall like hatred within the community as of right now. As Twisty and I were having our initial conversation, we thought it might be a good idea to just continue the free-flowing conversation that we were having, and perhaps give any viewers within this, oh, excuse you, and perhaps give any potential viewers, if they are interested on the other side of the coin, what it's like to be on the back end of these things, what it's kind of like to receive these things. So it's not just about me today. It's going to be like a podcast style type video. Like I said, we're just going to be playing Fortnite, and we're going to be talking about just the hate within the community on YouTube right now. And again, I cannot stress this enough. There is no particular person we are talking about. It's just we've been dealing with this more and more as time's gone on. And maybe it would be nice for some people to get a view on how we feel about things. If that, just as usual, content for the background right here. It's going to be a very, very long one. I really enjoyed my conversation with these two. So guys, go show them some love. They will be in the pinned comment down below. I don't remember if I actually did my intro, but hello everybody. Welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels. Anything to say before we give them a little transition? Anything to say? You want my glasses? Yeah, she wants my glasses. She stayed a lot quieter than I thought she would. So long-winded intro, guys. Apologies for that. Thank you. I was actually going to ask you guys your opinion on this. I don't know if you happen to watch. Twisty, I'm almost sure you did. I uploaded a podcast episode.
When was it? Oh yeah, the podcast you just did. Yeah,
about like this kind of like new thing that I'm experiencing, because my name's growing in the space. I struggle so hard with disrespect, and I have gone through like my entire life, like adopting my dad's attitude, where it's kind of like, what do I care what some actual loser thinks about me? And to the end, like at the end of the day, I still don't. But the problem is, like, when you have videos being made about you, people posting viral tweets about you, things like that, that's crazy. That gets so many impressions, and this is something that I was talking to Twisty about before you got here, PBJ. That kind of stuff has an effect on smaller channels, because those are thousands and thousands of people who will remember your name, your face, and they will all of a sudden have a negative outlook of you, especially if you've been misrepresented. I struggle really, really hard to not be like, I don't know how else to say it, but like, the fuck, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like,
right?
It's like so disingenuous too, because like I'll be the first to say it. Like even in this little niche, like there's people out there that are 100% like hateful people, but it's like always like the people that stay in their own realm don't
like we never knew these guys before they started talking.
Yeah,
and out of nowhere.
And they come after the people that, I mean, in my opinion, are like the least controversial. Like it's just like a left hook out of nowhere. Like you're just hey, I think this. I'm making a video on it because it's popular. You know, a lot of people are talking about it. Here's my input. Well, fuck you, Clen. That's what I have to say. Like what?
And that's what we were talking about before, where it's like, I don't understand what people don't get, that I can have an opinion on something and at the same time not care about it.
Oh, and here's the thing too. They act like it's like your whole livelihood. All right.
Oh my
Your
God.
whole identity is built around X, Y, and Z. No, it's popular in the community. You're a Fortnite YouTuber. Your point is to give input on stuff.
Yeah.
You're talking about it because it's popular. That doesn't mean it's your whole bread and butter.
Yeah, you should see
You
the
make one
comments I'm
video
getting
on
about
it,
that.
like, oh, Glazer.
Dude, I get the grown man comments constantly.
Well, luckily
I
I don't, because I sound younger. But I'm sure if people knew like my exact age, they definitely would.
Dude,
I'm not pushing 30, but we're getting there.
Yeah. And then you'll start hearing bros pushing 40. I think that's what Nick A30's hearing right now.
Yeah. As if that devalues anything they have to say. Oh, you're a father.
makes
You're
it
30
more
years old.
valuable.
People always talk about me being grown and having a kid. I'm like, as if that's a dig. I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
Does that,
Screw you, Clen.
Doesn't that make you smarter?
Yes.
More experience?
Well, it's like, yeah, the thing is, I don't think that inherently just makes you, like, you know, the above everybody in every situation. But I don't understand how that's a dig. Like,
Yeah.
okay, he's mature, he has a wife, he has a child, has responsibilities.
It's
Well,
funny because I actually just uploaded a video about this too, and I was reacting to a video like why gaming still isn't respected. And for the people who are like, oh my god, you're a grown man, you're playing Fortnite, things like that, and it's like, you can apply that to literally any hobby. It's like, at what age should... I mean, everybody's going to grow up. At what age should you just stop playing Fortnite, no matter how much you like it?
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
I have...
It's just... he cut out.
Did he lag out? Oh, he's actually out.
I just heard...
Well, I mean, he's gone. So
Going back?
Oh, he's back. He's back.
Yay.
My bad.
Me personally,
One
one of the biggest. Okay.
Twisty, we're not getting any of that.
Mother.
All right. Well, I'll say something. One of the bigger issues with what you were talking about, how, just in general, how these guys are making videos about smaller creators. One of the biggest issues I have with that is that the world and why we're seeing so much hate recently is because when you go into something expecting something, you're 90% of the time going to get that. So if you go into something thinking this is going to be the worst thing I've ever seen, you're going to most likely see that. And if you're looking for things that'll make it that, it will become that. But if you also go into thinking it, oh, this could be okay, then it'll be okay or good. It could surprise you. Or if you go into thinking this is going to be good, you could either be disappointed or really glad. But regardless, if you go into something thinking it's going to be bad, it'll be bad.
Yeah,
So,
because
that's the main issue with making videos hating on people. Because if this video hits 50K views and then a channel with 15K subs, all these people are going to come to this channel expecting what they heard in this 50,000 view video, which ruins it for 50,000 people.
And not only that, it legitimately actually ruins the channel, because what those people are going to do, they're going to come to your video, watch it for 5-10 seconds, leave a negative comment, and then take off. If enough people do that, YouTube is going to say, hey, nobody wants to watch this video, nobody wants to watch this channel.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Clen,
like
at the end of the day, I disagree with you, so you deserve it.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it's come to the point where, I was just going to say this as a joke, where it's like, people get to a point where it's like, I disagree with you, and I wouldn't care if you died.
Well, here's the thing,
so
too,
dumb.
is the people that are coming at you for having an opinion, you know, they're the ones that end up, like, projecting such negativity and hostility
Crossing the
towards the
line.
situation when you were just like existing. Like, you're like in a
That's the
live
thing.
stream, like, oh, hey, thanks for that donation. Do I think battle passes should come back? No. Okay, well, here's a hit piece on your character for 20 minutes.
But here's the thing.
you
These
father,
videos would be
grown man.
fine if they weren't so negative. Like,
No, yeah,
if these guys made this video responding to your video about battle passes not returning, it'd be fine if they weren't like, yeah, this stupid dad, he's pushing 40 and he's done all this terrible stuff in the past. Do you remember that stuff? Like, no, just come into it saying, this is why I disagree. Here's what I think.
Hey,
You don't have to think this.
Well, that doesn't get
crazy?
clicks.
That also doesn't get clicks,
Yes, you can still title it that way, though. You can say, Clen is a scammer. And then just talk about how, oh, I don't actually think he's a scammer. It just got you here.
but what I don't understand is why people... What the heck is a ceiling zapper? I forgot about that. Sorry. Now I lost my train
Squirrel.
of thought. Literally. I completely
don't
lost
remember?
what I was going to say. What were we just talking about?
Oh, well. We were talking about, I forgot.
Oh, no, I remember what I was going to say. I am totally for healthy disagreements.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm wrong about something that I've said, like, I don't know, talking about leaks, whatever the conversation may be, then prove me wrong. If you prove me wrong in a video, I'll change my tune. I'll be
Right.
like, good point.
Like the Nick A30 response.
Yeah.
Like, that was a proper response.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's another thing. It's become so popular too, and I think that people get really desensitized to this because someone like Nick A30 is like super popular. He's got a huge channel. He's pretty successful, but still, it sucks to see like his character just assassinated because of somebody making a video.
They think just because you're a face online with a number assigned, like subscriber count, that like you're still not a person, and that's like the most annoying part of it. Is because like I mean, even at my skill, like I experience the healthy conversation of like, hey, I disagree with you. Here's why, blah blah blah, and like it's it's a healthy conversation. But then I also get the absolutely terrible comments where it's like the most vile people in the world over something so simplistic.
Yeah.
And it's like I just couldn't imagine that on a scale like times 100.
Yeah. Well, here's one thing, is that the fact that everything has gone negative is bad in almost every situation, because if somebody does need actual criticism, they have just begun to blow it out of the water. So like this Nick A30 thing, I've seen situations where Nick A30 seems like he's kind of like aggressive over nothing.
Yeah.
But so a video towards Nick A30 isn't always a bad idea, but he ruined his chance to do that whenever he went so crazy on him.
Yep.
Calling him all these things. And that's what I've seen as well with who was it? Was it Clicks? Something Nick A30 got pressed about his age, and
yeah, it was Clicks.
Somebody responded mad, and then they said something that wasn't true. The second you bring something that's not true, the thing you said that was true now means nothing. And that's just sad, because the second somebody brings in a lie, it ruins any situation that you've ever said about anything true.
Yeah, you just decredit yourself, because then it just comes across as emotion rather than actual valid discussion.
That's what crosses the line from whatever criticism to hate.
Yep. Here's the thing that I was going to mention, speaking of like having emotional arguments. The problem is, like, in going back to like people making like hit pieces on your character and that, at what point like is a response warranted? Because no matter what, it's going to work out negatively on your end, no matter what.
Yeah.
And that's what I was talking about. Where like, oh my god, I have such problem dealing with people disrespecting me, but at the same time, I just know that the right thing to do is to not respond to these people.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's
and then the answer will be, and like it's the problem is obviously like everybody got comfortable yapping online behind their keyboard because you know that they wouldn't keep the same energy in person.
Yeah,
no, they wouldn't.
Yeah, absolutely not. It's spineless activity. But then I'm the one who's looked at as immature. I'm the one who's looked at as emotionally unstable if I'm the person who ends up responding to these types of things.
Because like I said, if you go into something expecting something, you're gonna get that. So that's just this terrible situation. That's what I've noticed about everybody pretty much online recently, is that they might not even be a hater, but if they've been convinced something, then they're going to see that, and now they are a hater. They might not know they're being just a hater, but they're going to see a side. So say they believe somebody that's hated on your channel, and now when they go to your channel, that's all they're going to think about. So now they're on their side immediately. Even if you're valid, even if your response is valid, that's just the bad situation about not leaving an open mind, and these videos being so negative. Like if they were saying, I haven't checked out your channel too much, but I saw you do this one thing and I didn't like it. That's so much better than saying everything you've ever done is terrible.
And you're terrible.
Yeah, like it's not that serious. If I don't think battle passes should return, that's my decision, and it has nothing to do with you, nothing to do with Epic. Epic is not going to look at these negative replies and say, oh, okay, they want it back, we're going to bring it back. They said they're not bringing it back, so they're not bringing it back. That's just how it works. And yes, I understand. I said whatever about Renegade Raider, but it's just, I don't know.
Listen, I mean, at the end of the day, though, it's still, it doesn't matter whether factual, like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Because, like, I went through this whole thing when I was making my video about passes. Like, there's convincing arguments from both sides. Or, like, you know what? Through that wording, I definitely can see either way.
Yeah.
But it's like, I just don't see, okay, I understand on both
It's
sides.
just
I do want to preface that there are people
unfaithful.
that are on the gatekeeping side that are extremely toxic and insecure about it. But I think the people that are just as passionate and upset wanting them to come back, you're just as bad. You're just in a different boat. You're in a shouting match between two idiots. That's all it is.
Yeah,
That's gonna
neither
strike a nerve with two sides.
It's just it's ridiculous. It's like this whole thing of like you have to take this stance, and that stance that you take embodies X, Y, and Z on certain situation. Like I automatically assume this is how you feel, right? Clen, you want them to be exclusive? Well, I automatically assume that you're gonna get pissed off to no end, and your day is gonna be ruined on February 1st if they drop the pass from season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In reality, you'll probably be sitting at work. Oh well, shrug it off. Continue your day.
Yeah, I'm like, never thought they would have done that, and then I would continue on.
Yeah,
I might even get a battle pass.
And you have every right to be like, that's kind of scummy. I personally have lost a little trust in Epic. You have every right to feel that way. It doesn't make you a bad person.
Yeah.
Now, if you're sitting over here doxing an Epic employee because they just dropped your precious old, OG skin, like that's when it becomes toxic. But the thing is like, most people aren't like that.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, I want, like, because I literally made that bait tweet when they did a Renegade Raider. I was like, your precious OG passes are next. People were pissed, dude. Calling me some crazy shit on a Twitter. Like, it was just on Twitter. And I'm like, bro, like, it's, first of all, it was a joke. Second of all, it's not that deep.
You know what I don't get to? Like, these people are so chronically online that they will then follow you, turn on notifications, and say something. Yeah, and say something bad about you the second that you upload.
I've had so many haters like turn into regular viewers, and now like they're just positive. But I think it's just the way that I address them. It's like,
how do you do it?
Oh, sorry you feel that way.
Nice
thanks for checking out the video. Like that's most of the time what I say. Unless it's something I've had one, and I think I sent it to you, where I actually kind of went in on the person, but it's because they were saying some pretty outlandish stuff.
Yeah,
and it was like
people that always cross the line.
And of course, you know what they replied to? I ain't reading all that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, of course you're not, because you're probably a 12-year-old who's just.
You don't care.
I actually disagree with you guys on that one, because I think that people overestimate or underestimate how immature adults are now.
Well, you know what? If they're over 12, I hope they take that as an insult, because their demeanor and their attitude reflects that age.
If they say that after responding to you negatively and then don't listen to your response, they should be treated as a 12-year-old. They don't get to talk anymore.
It's literally the equivalent to like responding with like, you know when like you start talking.
I still don't like you.
I still don't like you. My name's Twisty Chase. That's what it's like.
It's just like, it's just a whole. I don't know, because I mean, don't get me wrong. I've had comments that I perceived as negative before, like feedback, because I took it personally. But then it was like, I look back on it now and I'm like, like what they were saying was kind of right. But it wasn't anything insulting. It's like, hey, I don't know, like put a little bit more emotion behind your voice. Make the music a little less loud in your videos, blah, blah, blah. Like that, I don't have problems with that. But it's just like, yeah, because they've, I've had a few that, have, I wouldn't say struck a nerve, but stood out to me so much where I reevaluated, and a lot of it has changed the way I made content for the better. And it's like, I appreciate those, but it's like, by me saying I don't like vibing, and you're like, do some terrible things to yourself. I hate your channel, blah blah blah. Like that's just, but that's like 99% of the hate. I feel like,
Yeah. The difference between criticism and hate is crazy. Like, because, like, I enjoy criticism. I actually do. Like in personal life, like if somebody tells me, hey, I don't think you should do this anymore because it's doing this or whatever, I like that. But if somebody's doing it in a negative tone, like they don't like me, so they're going to tell me that I'm doing this wrong, even if it's true, I can tell. And that's what I get offended with. And that's where I see a response, even if it's valid or not. But if it's an actual criticism and I respect the people, they respect me, that's where it's fine. But if they immediately come into a spot where they disrespect you, then you shouldn't, like, should you listen to them? I don't really think so.
No, you don't listen to anybody who's not doing better than you. And the reality
I always
is
take the mentality.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I always take the mentality of like, like, are these people in my shoes? Am I where I want? Are they where I would like to be? And if either of those are no, I mean, it still might get to me a tiny bit. Like it might hit my brain 2-3 hours later, but it doesn't affect me the same way as if I don't know, Nick A30 were to comment on my video and leave a hateful comment, like then I'd probably do a lot of self-reflecting, you know. I'd be like, well, damn, he knows a lot about this.
Yeah, if Nick 30 told me to turn up my volume.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, well, I'm cranking that up times 3. I'm gonna bust your eardrums out.
But like, so one of the big issues that I'm saying is there's a red flag in the channels that pick a bunch of people to hate on all at once and then do it. Because that's not, there's no chance where that's criticism. That is pure hate. Because if they have a topic, say, and they pick out 4 people who all are on this side of the topic, and then like and then they find something to dislike or something that they've done wrong each time, I think that's a you problem. You are looking too far into this to find something wrong with each one of these people to talk hate about just because they don't like what you said in this situation or you disagree with them. They don't even know who you are.
Not only that, but the problem is, like you said, they don't know who you are. They clearly don't watch your content. They misrepresent your views and nitpick specific pieces and speak in a certain way that kind of makes you look like an idiot to somebody who doesn't know any better.
And here's the thing too. Oh, sorry, go ahead. My bad.
Sorry about that. I don't know how people walk through life doing that to other people. For real. Like, I would not feel good about myself. Just like, hey, Twisty, and just posting stuff and writing stuff on Twitter. Things about Twisty believes this. Twisty's an idiot because he said this when it never came out of his mouth. You know, stuff like that. I don't know how people walk through life doing that.
Well, I think from what PBJ was coming from, like, I think these people, well, at least I really hope, deep down they understand that, but they are doing what they're doing intentionally. Because they know that's what's going to get them the views, and they know that's going to get them the attention. If they would be like, you know what, I disagree with Clen on 70% of what he says, but here's, you know, a little part that I do agree with, that would just, all the people that they're getting in their comments that are, like, garnering all that toxicity would then turn on them, because they'd be like, oh, you're a glazer. Bro's fence riding. It's like, so they have to go.
There's some points
you're getting the wrong kinds of people over your content.
And they grow at such rapid rates because toxicity feeds, bro. People love it. But listen, here's the thing. I've seen this with content creators, not even just like people coming at each other. They're just like, all right, I'm going to talk about Fortnite. 90% of my content's going to be negativity, right? They get 3-4 months into making videos. All of a sudden, that motivation that they have is just gone. Because it's like they have to talk about stuff negative 90% of the time. And it's like overblow their hate for stuff, and they garner such negative viewers, and it's like they get in such a negative mind space that like they can't get away from the negativity, and it just ruins you as a creator.
It's funny you mention that because I was actually talking about Clark about this kind of deal with creators, and he mentioned something really interesting where it's you are getting a giant viewer base that just likes to spread their hate on people. They're upset with their own life. They're gonna keep like pushing that out. The second you decide to make a positive video, those guys are gonna basically be like, huh?
Yep. And I've seen it happen. I'm not even saying this just to like, you know, cover. I have seen it happen as recent within like this past week.
Yeah,
I mean, someone that I watched a lot. I watched a lot of them and I like their stuff. And it's like, you know, it's just the negativity has finally caught up to them, and it's I don't know, because it's like even me with something as lighthearted, like talking about like anything with the title of worse, I don't enjoy that nearly as much as when I'm talking about stuff I actually like.
And God forbid you think a skin, my favorite skin's your worst one. That's attacking my character.
That's in another realm, dude. I don't understand, like, because you know, like the personal opinions, I get you can get all tied up to it emotionally, but it's like when you're like, oh, I like this cosmetic, and then people are like, die.
Yeah. Oh.
Like, what?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I don't have SMG.
Okay, but let's. Oh.
What were you gonna say?
I'm coming. I just feel like if there's one thing that any side of any disagreement should be able to agree with is the fact that hate is just evil. Like, regardless of what you believe, whatever, hate should just be considered evil. In any situation, hatred is evil. And if there's one thing that anybody needs to agree on, is that if you're going to make a video, rewatch it. If you can find hatred in it, maybe make it a little bit more like, what is it? Criticizing instead of hatred. Like, nice criticism is so nice. There's a difference between hating and defending yourself or something like that. If somebody attacks you personally, that's different. That's hatred in the first place. But you responding is not necessarily hatred.
Healthy criticism
but if you are
is
coming,
a really, really great thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yes. If you're coming out of nowhere to make a video about something that nobody's ever asked you about, or that nobody ever, these people that you're talking about have never seen you, right? Like, this is the first time they're ever going to see you because you made a video about them, then you shouldn't be hating. Like, hate, like, that's just what I'm saying. Hatred should be seen as evil no matter who you are, and we need to realize that. And whatever side you're on, if you disagree or not, we need to just do better at making these videos. If you want to continue to get the views, that's fine, but do it in a nicer way. Don't be hateful in those ways.
But the problem is, and this kind of goes back to that Twisty, I was having a conversation with PBJ on New Year's actually about forgiveness, and like I struggle with like forgiving people. I struggle with forgiving people in general. And you're right in saying that it is evil, but I do believe that there's situations where people deserve to be hated. Like if people cross a line. I do agree
that. I'm not saying that, but I'm just like unnecessary hate.
Then I agree.
Just like just hate. I think hate just, I don't know, it's just undeserved hate is just evil. So out of nowhere, I mean, I guess you could say, yeah, these guys deserve it, but if you've never had a conversation with them, just try to consider some other stuff first. Like,
yeah,
have a conversation first. If they disrespect you, then fine, go on. But just don't whip it out of nowhere. Never heard of you? Oh, I'm gonna hate on these guys. These are evil people. No, because I don't know. That's just what I think. I just feel like everybody should be able to agree that hatred is just generally not good.
It's interesting.
Well, here's the thing too, is when you open up your whole, you know, I think the beginning of anything, whether you're
some good here, guys.
You're presenting something. If you're opening, I understand, yeah, YouTube videos, stuff like that. Like you have to have a convincing opening, blah blah blah. But it's like when you're opening, you automatically just start alluding to like personal attacks on people's characters. I don't know. I just think it just, not even just in the beginning. I'm saying like just in general, like attack on people's personal characters where it's not warranted just shows the lack of immaturity, and it automatically just makes me devalue anything that you're saying.
Yeah.
Even if you have good points, like, like, you know, calling, you know, just for example, like you out for something, like, yeah, that can be warranted. But the second that I start saying things about like your physical appearance, like values that you hold, stuff like that, you just go from showing yourself as someone who likes to educate people or likes to debunk stuff or get to the bottom of truth, blah blah blah, whatever you want to phrase, bullshit you want to phrase it as, like you just come across as a complete ass. And it's just like you're doing it out of animosity, and for whatever reason, I mean, that's obviously that they can really only know. But I think with YouTube it's obvious you're just trying to get monetary gain, and it's the easiest way to go about it. Hey, let's attack large creators, medium-sized creators, get my name out there, get their fan base hating on me, blah blah blah, amp it up.
It's a tough one. You know what else the aspect of it kind of is you know that these people are also doing this because they are desperate for clout, because they have nothing better going on in their lives, and they are not creative or talented enough to create anything that's like genuinely nice for people to see and original, so they have to resort to bringing other people down and attaching their name onto somebody else like a leech.
And I will say, people do deserve criticism. Like, I am the first person, even if it's a, you know, if there's something that you would say that was completely outlandish that I wholeheartedly disagree with, and it's like harming people genuinely and not like you think, I would be the first person to speak out against that person, even if they're my best friend in the world.
Yeah.
But it's just like,
here's the thing, I wouldn't speak out about it, I would talk to you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would speak out about it. Not like I wouldn't go make a video. I'm saying like I'd be the first one to step up and say something in any form of like physical, like personal, face-to-face, online, etc. But like, because it's just so annoying, because you see people that automatically, you know, there's that situation recently that you had. It's like, oh, you're coming to defend your friend. Well, I mean, of course I'm gonna defend my friend when they're receiving absurd amount of hate with things, like, and they're not. I just.
No, you're right.
Because you can't have any ounce of like, you know, well, maybe we should think about this, and then people are like, oh, you're just a glazer, blah blah blah. It's like, no, I'm a decent human being who understands that people are all humans, and it's like, I'm not gonna sit here and bash somebody or agree with you just because you want me to do that. Like,
you know,
that's not happening.
I've been saying for a long time now that the majority of the world are a bunch of NPCs. Nobody thinks for themselves. They're they spout what they're told, and I'm falling out of a tree.
I got this.
Well, it's like the whole Nick thing. Like, people are going against Arch now too. Like, now that Nick has put that stuff out, and it's like, you know damn well they didn't listen to like 50% of the stuff that's come out about this. They're just like, oh, Nick 830 is scamming. He's wrong. And then now that Nick has spoken out against that guy, the people are praising him for it. They're like, oh,
they don't even need to watch half that video. They see the thumbnail, Nick 830 scammed, and oh, I'm wearing Nick 830. They see the thumbnail, Nick 830 scammed, and that's enough for them, and Nick 830 is officially counted as evil.
Yep, and they'll even watch that whole video, be proven wrong, but they'll still be like, oh, well, he's still a scammer, you're just glazing him. It's like, no, I have a functioning brain.
Yeah. Do you think there's any hope for YouTube right now? Because
it'll come back.
You think?
People are going to get tired of it. They're going to get tired of it because they're going to realize, oh, every single video I see is hating.
I don't know if I agree with you on that one, therefore I hate you.
No. No, because what I'm saying is eventually people will not really care. And they're going to realize that every single area of YouTube has hate. Every single... Because it's doing well. Like, every single situation has had a possible, like, why is there so much recently? Battle Pass first. And then it was like, what was the other one? Like, everything that comes up, hate. Like, the Cybertruck. Oh my goodness, let's dox somebody for it. The car season 3, that same season, same thing. But, like, who cares? Like, nobody cares.
Agree,
and eventually people will be on the same level as me. There's some things that'll always get hated. Say the honey scam. That's something that'll come up, and that's supposed to come out. But the stupid stuff, that's going to continue to get swept away over and over again because people are going to get tired of it. They're going to realize this doesn't actually mean anything. There's some that do mean stuff. That's just how I feel.
Misery loves company has been saying since the beginning of time. And there will always be miserable
but this
people,
wasn't
and miserable
this
people
bad.
are going to continue to spread and make more miserable people.
Yeah,
the world's not getting any nicer. Sorry,
this wasn't this bad a year ago.
Yeah, I'm saying it's getting worse.
I know it's getting worse, but it got worse quick. And I think that it'll go back down. It will never go away, obviously, but I think that it will go back down because it's the amount there is now is just like it's just boring. There's no way you can continue to enjoy this over years and years.
I think coming from audience perspective and creators perspective, it's easier on the brain just to mindlessly hate on stuff.
And it's more
like, I guarantee you right now, I could cook up the same video, right?
Entertainment.
I could cook up the same type of topic, right? You know, the season I hate the most or the season I love the most. The hate thing is immediately going to get at least double the attention.
Yeah.
Double the engagement, everything.
Think about this,
and it's not just Fortnite stuff. It's just in general. Like, think about those commentary YouTubers who are the first, even if it's warranted, right? The hate are the first people to drop on big drama. They grow so fast because people love negativity. Like, and it's just, I don't think that'll ever go away. And the way the world's going outside of content, I think it'll keep going.
I do agree, but I think for the case of Fortnite, I think it'll slow down enough where it's not the biggest thing getting views because it is.
Oh,
recently.
okay. If you're
it's
talking
getting
about
the
the
most
biggest
views.
thing getting views, then yeah, I could see you being right. But I don't think it'll die down at all.
It won't be one of the bigger things though. For
sure.
So
like, you're saying it won't stay, like, the negative thing won't stay relevant forever, or negativity in general?
It's carrying huge conversations right now, and I just feel like there will be a huge amount of the community for it that don't care after enough time.
Oh yeah, well that's a thing all the time. Like, people can.
That's what I'm saying though.
Watch a hate piece and they'll forget about it and look for the next thing to hate on.
But
the outrage of the day.
It will get better.
Yeah, everybody's always looking for that.
Yeah, you'll never get rid of negativity though. That's just always going to be here. It's always been here, always will. Oh, stupid kid.
Oh no, he got to you.
I want to ask you guys like your opinion because I don't remember if we've touched on it before we started recording.
Oh, I did not
at this
realize
point when we actually did start recording. What do you guys think about like? Because I did dive into this, didn't I? Because I talked about like me struggling with disrespect. What do you think is like? I don't know. What do you think's right to do in all those situations? Should we always ignore them?
Where they're hating on you?
I don't know.
Unless they've disrespected you terribly.
Yeah,
like
I think
that's where I struggle with a person.
depends.
That's where I struggle as a person because on one hand I could care less. These people are beneath me. It's just nonsense hate for no reason.
I agree.
That you don't deserve.
Here, you can take it as the Nick A30 situation. He didn't respond until it got big enough, and there was actual evidence that made him look bad. That's when you can respond, and he proved it immediately that it was nothing true, and that was fair. Another thing is I think it's really satisfying in a selfish way if you're nice back to them because they hate it.
That's not satisfying to me. That's not satisfying to me at all. That's my problem. No.
To see them like dying inside.
No.
Or like return. It's funny though. Like you say something nice and then they make a video hating again, and it's just all they're just grasping for something.
No, satisfying
and
to
it just
me
looks
would
so
be
stupid.
Satisfying to me would be like bumping into these people, you know.
Yeah,
I get it. That's both satisfying.
Listen, I think I agree with your mindset, Clen, of like I do resort to being like really pissed first and wanting to do something about it. But I think in the end, I think it is more satisfying to sit back and like watch them self-destruct of like the relevancy in anything.
I don't even care about that.
Okay, let me clear up.
It's why are you disrespecting me and I don't deserve that? And then we live in a world where we can't retaliate, whether that's making a video or in real life. Like if this was any situation in real life, like we don't live in a world where we can retaliate in real life. We don't live in a world where it's acceptable to retaliate online either.
Mm-hmm.
There's a situation where you can fire back, and there's a situation where you don't care to fire back or don't need to. And what I'm saying is, not responding or responding positively when you don't care is fine and it's funny. If you care enough, if it's actually gotten to you, if it's making you mad and you have enough to say they're clearly in the wrong, there's something you could easily say to shut it down, you do it. You don't have to fire back though.
That's the other thing I was going to mention, and this is what I was talking about in my podcast, is I don't know what's going on with me personally, and I think I've decided, I've been sitting on it a lot and talking to a lot of people. I think it's because like as a kid I grew up with like really bad anger issues, and then when I got involved in martial arts I had an outlet for my testosterone, and now I'm no longer, like the past couple years I'm no longer involved in that. Perhaps that's why I have the urge to respond to these type of things, because typically, like I mentioned earlier, my dad, I adopted my dad's attitude where it's like, who cares what some idiot thinks about you? Who cares?
Yeah.
But then my brain right now is like, why, like, who are you to disrespect me right now? I don't deserve that.
Yeah, I think it's just hard to slap a label on it generic, because I think it does just heavily depend on context.
Completely varies.
If there's somebody tomorrow, you know, like in my face physically that says something, like, yeah, of course I'm gonna want to retaliate, you know.
But we don't live in a world where you're allowed to. You're not allowed to. You have to take it.
But it's like online and stuff, it just depends. Like, I don't know. Like, if someone's coming at me and they're obviously coming at it for like their benefit or something, I think it is best to kind of leave it alone. But if you do retaliate, do it in the nicest douchebag way possible.
That's not satisfying to me.
Like what Nick did,
no,
right?
I understand.
Nick made that whole video, and he's talking, you know, showing the receipts, doing this, blah, blah, blah. Showing that, you know, it did seem like this kid was coming at it from a negative angle, like making it seem like he phrased things nicer. And it's like in the end, you know, you get the upper hand, and you also acknowledge that they're trying to be deceptive and like an asshole to you. And then when they see that you prove them wrong, and then you don't retaliate with also trying to be a dick, I think it just pisses them off even more.
I got you.
I don't care about them. I don't care about them being pissed off more.
I just feel like for you, so like we're saying, it completely varies on the situation. So in the case where a few months ago, somebody mentioned something in your personal life in a video, that is completely valid. You make an hour-long video talking about everything they said wrong, anything that looks funny about them, anything. That's fair. If they cross a line, You need to set a line. If they cross the line, then you can do whatever, and that's valid. Nobody's gonna say anything about it, and who cares if they do, right? But then there's a point where you don't really care. Like, I mean, it's not like it applies. None of this applies to every situation or a 50% of the chance. Like, if somebody says something that doesn't get to me, then I don't care. I'll say something slight. It'll be funny. I'll laugh about it, whatever. If somebody says something about me personally, like looks or something that actually gets to me, I'll respond in a however way I think I need to respond or want to respond to make me feel better.
Yeah, but I'm not allowed to respond the way that I want to respond.
Well, that's just a you problem. That's a you problem, bro.
Even online, like, you know, if you can, like, how, if I say, let me give you a situation. I'm like, Clen, I disagree with you. Screw you as a person, and I wish the worst for, like, insert family member. Like, how do you want to respond to that? Well, I'm saying virtually.
I'm kidding.
Like, what?
I'm kidding.
What gives you? What gives you?
Joke.
Any context on that? That's totally not accurate.
Sure, buddy.
But like, what can you do virtually
that
would
that,
give you that like, what would make you satisfied and fill?
Nothing.
Then who cares?
That's
right?
what I'm saying. That's where I'm.
You can't
I'm
get it
dealing with a
online,
huge
then
personal
you shouldn't
problem
worry
right
about
now.
it. Well, if you can't deal with it online, then you shouldn't worry about it.
But I can deal
Respond
with it.
however you want.
Like, I can deal with it in the sense where it's like I go on about my day, but I look at these things and
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But like, if you can't actually get the like revenge or whatever you want, then who cares? I mean, it's annoying, but I mean,
I would say that's where the virtual stuff. I guess that's where my input comes, because like you really can't do anything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like, you know, like
we know it
killing them
doesn't
with
actually mean
kindness.
anything.
But even
It's
if
like
you
killing
make if you continuously make videos like I did the one time, which I can do for everything. And what's funny is I sent you both a video that I made for the I'll just say it, the Juice World stuff.
Yeah.
Where I'm sorry, it's gonna sound egotistical, but it just is. I cooked. I did a great job, and it was a perfect response.
You did a good job, yeah.
And I can do that for everything, but that's just going to open the door for more people to do the same thing and get the attention. And then I'm going to be stuck in that loop.
Well, see, that's what I was alluding to earlier, is when you know, say it's like these Twitter users who are very obviously chronically online, and what they want is directly to see you make this video where you're up in arms and you're so upset and you're so pissed off and I want to rip their head off, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's what they want from you. What they don't want is a 30-minute video of you articulating how much of a dumbass they are, while also maintaining this positive note of, like, I just showed you how stupid this situation is, how stupid you are, and I'm going to tell you have a good day.
There's the thing.
I also don't want them to have a good day.
But you don't. But the way that you convey it, you make it seem like you do, but they know that you don't mean it. That's what I'm saying. Like when Nick was like, "Oh, no hard feelings against you, Arch." Yeah, that's a load of BS. But you know that's gonna piss Arch off so bad, because that's not what he conveys towards Nick. They want you to reciprocate being just as negative. And when you don't do that, even if what you're saying doesn't come across as genuine, it still gets to them.
The difference here is how much of a response you could get for what you want to say versus what you probably should say that gives nobody a response. Because if you say something that you want to say and say you're mad, even if everything you say is correct and it makes them look dumb, the only thing they have on you is that you're mad in the video. Everybody on Twitter is gonna be like, look how much he got to him, or whatever. Like, you just, that's the thing. That's the point that I mean with, if you can't do anything about it, like that you actually want to do that would make you feel really good, then do what you can to not make it worse. Like,
I think I'm just caught up, and I really, really, really hate the world that we live in the sense where people can never suffer consequences for their actions.
They need to. That's what we need. We need a spanking from mom and dad.
Or bring bullying back.
Bring bullying back. I mean, now the kids that would be bullied are bullying online.
Yeah,
they can't get hurt for it.
No, the bullies were necessary. What happened?
The bullies kept out the annoying
the
kids.
bullies would have stopped these people from making YouTube channels.
We're not advocating for bullying. Mostly.
I need to bleep out that other thing I said, don't I?
What?
Well, yeah, you do. Bro, they're going to make a video about that, and they're gonna be like,
"Okay, stop! I don't want to have to bleep more stuff."
I say leave it. Who cares? You were joking.
No, I'm not gonna. I can't. Oh, this is so nostalgic walking in the moisty mire mud.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's really just so beyond frustrating how it's just sad how bad people have gotten. Like, it's just not fun. I don't have fun. Just
why do you think it's gotten so bad in like our little space?
Money.
It's not even that though, because we saw Ark or whatever his name is. He wasn't monetized in the first place.
Yeah, but now
now he is. No, I agree, but the thing is, it's attention. It's not money. It's attention. Yes, it gets to a point where it's money, but it's no, because attention feels so much better. Yes, an extra $500 from that video feels good, but it doesn't feel as good as attention, and that's not a that's a fact. Like I
don't know.
I like attention.
I disagree.
You girl.
Listen, I 100% agree. Right? Someone's main motive, like Arch, very well could have been like, you know what? I want to let people know how Nick is. There's still a part of him now, especially how hard he's riding it. Like, oh, I'm going to make a whole video taking your challenge. Like, he's riding the situation, gets to monetization from it. And now he's probably going to build a little small community.
His streams have been popping.
And it's like all the money that you do make off of it. Like, I don't know.
I understand the money situation, but I think you don't make money on Twitter. You do, but it's like, what, $1? Like, you're not making money on Twitter, realistically, 90% of the haters. It's for attention. If their post gets 150 likes because they said, hey, Clen doesn't want battle passes, and I think he's an idiot, he should die, then he gets attention for it, he feels good. Just to me, I like attention. It feels good. When my video gets 200,000 views, it feels good, not for attention because they're hearing me talk, but just because it just feels good. Like, just numbers, they feel good.
The numbers feel good, but I personally get more pleasure from YouTube. Well, obviously, like, money's become my biggest motivation, but this is still passion, so don't get confused by that.
Money's the reason that, like, I don't know.
But I derive the most pleasure from seeing people, like, write really, really in-depth thoughts on, like, what I was just talking about. That's what I get the most pleasure from.
Well, see, but that's coming from you. I don't think these people that are rooted in negativity get that satisfaction.
They're not. The people doing negative stuff aren't doing it for money, though. That's what I'm saying. The negativity is coming from attention and validation. That's what it's coming from.
Well, okay, they might not initially do it for money, but I think that's the motivator.
Eventually, yes.
Post-attention.
So let's say Ark or whatever keeps getting views. He's going to continue to do it for money. But he originally did it for hopes for views and attention, which is views.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, because I'm saying he's bad. I just think that attention feels good. Negativity thrives off of attention. You don't continue to be negative if you're not getting anywhere.
But this is what I don't understand. How people can walk through life and, yeah, you got your attention, but at what cost? Look what you did to somebody.
Well, it's online, so they think that it has no ramification, which I think circles around to all of this is, like, you leaving a comment, you know, whether it's someone leaving a comment to just get likes to feel good about themselves or somebody making a whole video to get subs, like that person that, now listen, people do, before I say what I'm about to say, people do deserve criticism in a lot of situations, blah, blah, blah.
I'll take it a step further. People deserve hate. They do.
But it's like, people online are just so easy to say stuff, not just because the fact of like they have this barrier, it's just like you're desensitized to what it's actually doing to that person. Like you don't see, you know, if you leave a hate comment on my video, like you don't see my reaction to how I feel, like how that makes me feel, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's why people are so desensitized to it, because they just get what they want on their end and they don't get the ramifications of being like a bad person like you would in real life.
Yeah, like how would that work out in real life if you just walked up and just said like F you straight to your face?
You're gonna get sucker punched.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And you would know, oh, I was a shitty person, I shouldn't do that moving forward.
Yeah, it's
online you don't get that. Online you don't get that, and there's no way to give that to them.
But it's not even just a sucker punch what these people are doing. It's like the equivalent of like knocking you out, head on the pavement, and stomping a few times. Like, it's bad what these people are doing.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not even that. I wouldn't even give them that. It's just.
No, I wasn't saying they should get that. I was saying like that. It's not just like, oh, I'm just gonna sucker punch you.
No. What I'm saying, you're saying what they're doing.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying, it's like, it's not that like that's giving them the fact that they can even do that to somebody. No,
Yeah,
because in the real world they wouldn't be able to. It's the fact that they're just. Imagine you had a.
Dude, you have these YouTubers, and you wouldn't even need to do anything. You just need to look them into the eyes, and you know that they'd be going to the floor.
Yeah, like let's say, it's the equivalent of like sitting inside your house, and then like rolling up your window just enough to yell at somebody, and then putting it back down before they can get in. Like they can't do anything in return. That's what it is. You can't do anything back in return.
It's flipping someone off from your window and then going, "Oh my God, this guy's so insecure" when he throws the rock through.
And it's just what's so frustrating about it all is because I don't know, especially when they're motivated by other stuff too, of like, you know, they get a lot of attention or money from it too. It just emboldens them, and it's like. And yeah, and it's like you guys are saying too earlier, like if you reciprocate in any way, well then now you're the emotional immature one, not the person that sat down on a random Tuesday and decided the best course of action for their time on this earth is to be a freaking asshole.
Yeah. Why? Yeah, I don't like the world we live in. Why should I be the one to just sit back and take it?
Yeah, and it's like sometimes too, these people have like small little points where I can see where it's like, yeah, you know, I can see where you're coming from. But it's like we were talking about earlier, like once you start resorting to like personal insults or just being a negative person, it's like any validation that you have, it just goes straight out of the window.
Yeah, and it's important to note that like if anybody's listening to this right now, I have had my mind changed by wonderful people in this community many times. I'm willing to listen.
And it feels good,
I'm willing
actually.
to change my mind. And if somebody does my point, I think that's awesome.
It's valid.
I grew smarter from that situation.
You shouldn't get petty if you're wrong. You should be wow, I was wrong.
I really appreciate it when people prove me wrong. I really do.
Got him.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is it's like we're talking. I don't know, like this stuff is subjective. Like there's no objectivity to
when you're talking
a Fortnite battle pass.
That is the issue. The battle pass is that.
But I think
nobody
that's what makes it worse.
Realizes that. Yes, because they think they're right. There is no right. I mean, there's a right situation.
There's a right when it comes to like keeping promises.
Yes, I agree there. In the situation where neither are right, if you think there's neither a right, there's a right, and if there is, whichever one's morally more correct. Which keeping a promise, yes,
morality is subjective.
Can't be.
No.
Like,
well, some things, okay? Some things. I know where that can go.
Well, what my point with that is,
well, there's some things that are and some things that aren't, and you need to realize that. You can't be right about everything.
Epic doing, like, at the end, right? Epic we're taking the battle pass thing, for example. If Epic re-releases these battle passes, it's not going to physically harm anyone. So yes, there are morally, you know, like, yes, they should keep promise.
Nothing can physically harm.
There's no, like, hey, Clen, like, I don't know, like, it's not like an actual conversation where like you say something that's horrendous and I change your mind for the betterment of you as a person. So it's like I just don't understand the whole like being so emotionally charged in return with that. Like it's not like we're debating world hunger. We're debating a freaking battle pass skin. So it's like that's why I don't understand where the toxicity, like how does it I just don't get where the passion of being so toxic and like arguing your point so passionate to the point where you're calling someone that you don't know absurd things and accusing them of things over something so simplistic.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I'm seeing like, because it's come to a point where all of us have like, we're all getting a name in the community, right? And I'm seeing like comments about other creators where it's just like, oh, I've never liked that guy. And just
meanwhile they're not the ones that have had hours of discussions with said creator, and you instantly anyone that I know that have conversed with such creator would instantly say nothing but positive things about that person as well. But no, James, the random 12-year-old on Twitter who just doesn't like the take of that YouTuber, knows that that person's a terrible human being off rip. If you know that person, no, you're just glazing. You're just saying that because you're a friend.
Can you break that? They're right behind the wall.
I can't wrap my head around disagreeing with somebody and just hating them for it. I can't.
Oh,
it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
it makes you flawed as a human being.
No, I thought you were gonna stay alive, Star.
But that's the thing too, is like, in certain situations, like I can have segments where I'm like, okay, like I disagree with that creator on said thing, but that doesn't automatically mean, I don't know, then that you agree with the hate that they're getting. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
Like, you know, I'm not gonna say a specific, but there are some situations where I've been like, oh, you know, that creator probably could have worded that better. Like that was stupid of them to say, but their point,
And
their underlying point,
that's
still
part of
is the
life
same.
too. We all slip
Yeah.
up. We all make mistakes. Nice.
And it's like, and these people know that too, but it's just like they ignore it, because it was like what you were saying earlier, is that you know, the metaphor of have your cake and eat it too. Like, yeah, that applies to logic stuff, but it's like you can feel a certain way about something, but then still maintain. I don't know how to put it any better. It's just like you can still disagree with something, but in the end, still support that thing, even if you have disagreements towards it or some negative feelings towards it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah, for sure. Just, I don't know. I wish that it would just. I wish people just all understand the same things.
What do you guys wish?
And I
that,
think some of them do. It's just that they don't want to. They don't care to.
What
Because
do
they
you
get
guys-
attention. That's.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you again.
Yeah, I'll go for it. I was.
What do you guys wish that people knew that aren't in the YouTube space from a creative perspective?
Everybody's. I mean, I know it sounds so cliche and sounds so pity, but like, everyone's a human. Like, it just like it amazes me of just, and I'm not talking about disagreeing. Like, I'm talking about being just a straight up like nasty person over anything that has no significance and isn't hurting anybody, like opinions. And it's just, and it's even sadder when you see creators acting that way.
Yeah, it's.
I think there should just be more disagreements. It doesn't have to be hate. Just disagreements. Just disagree with somebody. You can make a video about it. But,
Yeah.
like,
If
it's
somebody
more
made a
fun
video-
that way.
If somebody made a video disproving every single one of my points and explained why, I get it. I mean, they don't even have to do a good job as long as they're respectful.
Yeah, like, okay, so I would even prefer bring back diss tracks. than
Diss
hate.
tracks?
No. We should start diss tracking again. The next time somebody disagrees super bad, like instead of making a hate video, just like, you
Dude,
know
I need
what?
to see a
I'll drop
scientist
a
track.
diss. That'd be hilarious.
I'm just gonna say it now though. I think those style of videos are just so, they're so inherently cringe too. I think, like the whole, here's what this person said, I'm gonna do commentary over it, let you listen to them talk, and then me come up with stupid petty insults and overlook 50% of context to
Yeah,
allude to my
that's the
video.
biggest thing. That's the biggest thing.
Like, it's just, you're
Honestly-
not, how are you fulfilling, like, because that's, you know, if you are a true creator and you're not just motivated by money, you're not just motivated by views, you truly enjoy the process of creating and being fulfilled by people seeing your creation, how are you fulfilling yourself? Just being a negative asshole and leaving out context that I know dang well you know that you're leaving out.
That's the worst.
You
part
are
about
leaving it
then
out,
they-
and you know you are. And if you're not, you're doing a terrible job at your quote-unquote job. Because if you're gonna sit here, if I'm gonna sit here and make a negative video on Clen, right? I'm gonna watch that video that I have that negative opinion about 10, 15 times to dissect every little thing I possibly can about you. Every argumentative point I can get. So it's like,
all of these people making and posting or making videos, posting tweets, none of them know you, and it shows.
Yeah.
but then see someone like me who's had numerous conversations with you and can get an input of how you are as a person. If I come to your defense and it's extremely valid, it's automatically discredited because, oh, well, this guy has made videos with him, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I got that a lot with Loot Station. I got that a
And
lot.
it's like, and that's what I want to, if, you know, if this ever gets to any ears or used against me, like I said before, I'm the first person to call someone out on their BS. It's like, I would never just blindly, unless there is like physical, like, things at stake, like someone's well-being, right? I'm not gonna like just blindly defend somebody just because I am associated with them. If they're doing something bad, I'm not gonna come to their, like, that doesn't mean I'm gonna out them, but I'm not gonna come to their defense.
Let's say it this way. My initial response is I'm gonna defend you, But but like, so somebody comes to me, says in my Discord, this happened to me actually. Somebody comes to my Discord and they start saying, "What do you think about this situation with this guy who did this?" I'm like, my first reaction is, if it sounds fake or too crazy, I'll be like, all right, well, that first off, that sounds dumb. Usually I wouldn't believe that stuff. And then I look into it, and then I actually give an answer. But my first reaction, if they're my friend, and I say what I think about them. I say what I would think they would normally do. If I couldn't see them doing that, then I'm gonna say that.
Yeah, I had a situation on my Discord where there was somebody that I came to trust.
I'm very, very sorry, guys. I gotta take care of my dog for a sec. Continue.
You're good. Okay. But there was a thing in my Discord where it was somebody that I trusted and that was in an admin role and stuff, and something that come out about them. And like, I initially, I wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm in agreement with it. Like, I looked into it, like wanting it to not be true, because like, you know, you expect more from the person. But like, once you see this stuff, like, I don't know, there's just, I can't just blindly defend somebody because I know them or like in association.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you don't want to be biased or anything.
But that's the sad thing, is like, people just automatically assume, even if you do take all those precautions, even they automatically assume just because you're in association that you only feel that certain way because you know that person. Yeah,
like specifically that loot station situation was crazy because there were so many haters on him immediately. The moment that anything came up, they were all like, his channel was getting terminated. He was like, yeah, you deserve it. I'm glad. I hope it gets terminated.
You're talking about Luna just got back.
Yeah, and I was like, man, that's just sad. And then so those I kind of understand, because these people have never talked to him personally. They don't know him. They only see him as the guy who grinds XP and does XP glitches. That's all they see him as, which I guess that's fair. If they do any research into him, they'll realize that he's a nice guy, but that's fair, I guess. But the people that are like YouTubers in the replies, and the people that should know better, then proceed to say, oh, he's just faking it for views.
Yeah.
Or he's faking it for attention. That made me so upset. I was like, you're over here with hundreds of thousands of followers, and you're going to say that he's faking it for views.
For your Twitter clout.
Crying. If you wouldn't be crying if your channels were terminated overnight. Like, that's just so ridiculous.
Unjustly, by the way.
Well, see, that's the thing, too, is, like, you can disagree, like, with his style of content. You can think some of his thumbnails were a little bit misleading. You can think they weren't. But at the end of the day, like, does not mean he's an inherently bad person. And B, does not mean that he deserves to get his channel, you know, terminated. No, especially when there's people out here that are actually, you know, I mean, I'll name drop because they're so popular, but like Ghost Ninja, some people like that are actively 95% of their videos lying. Like, it's just, I mean, and then they get a fan base over that. And I'm not saying that means he's a bad person or deserves termination.
Like, but facts. It's just like I clickbaited. Who cares?
It's just like
the clickbait argument's crazy to me. Every single YouTuber does it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I do it too, even when it's not like I would say sometimes it can lean more towards rage baiting rather than I would say clickbait, because like, you know, like I could be like, oh, I hate these skins. Like, I don't hate them. Like, I could care less at the end of the day. It's just the ones I dislike the most. Like, but like, are you gonna say that my channel deserves to be terminated because I told you that I hate Renegade Raider, but I actually don't?
Yeah, like it's just crazy. I don't know. But I just
and to see people celebrate it, that was so disgusting.
That was just sad.
And then watching his video,
not just celebrate it, they actively just called him a piece of shit.
Yeah, like, I saw some specific
right on his downfall, literally.
And I was like, wow. So it's like to think that, I don't know, just to come out so
sad.
There's a lot of creators that were commenting on that, and I know that loot would have went to their defense, which is sad.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
And like I said before, alluded to earlier, like there's certain situations where I've seen creators that I have, you know, positive interactions with, and then I see them interacting with situations in such a way it's just sad. Like
one of the most hurtful parts is Clen just said, one of the most hurtful parts is that these people that you talk to often, you think they're your best friends on YouTube area, and then they immediately start hating on you the second that you're about to be gone. Like, say
a couple numbers are more important
I've
than
seen
you.
that. Like you say your ex gets terminated, and then somebody makes a tweet saying PBJ's ex was just terminated. All my best friends say, like people I thought were my friends that would defend me, immediately go to the comments, oh, thank goodness, that kid was so annoying.
Yeah.
And it's hurtful. That's the stuff that's hurtful. And
Absolutely.
that's one thing. That's just deliberately like betrayal. But then the people, that's like a content creator side specifically, but the people, like the viewers that are hating, that's what we're pretty much talking about today. The issue with that, the biggest issue, is the immediate reaction is hate. That's just that's the issue, because everybody should get a chance, and no matter what situation it is, you should look at both sides before you.
And that's the thing too, especially from the creator side, is like with the whole loot station thing. Like as creators, it's disappointing to see people like happy, because like, all right, put yourself in that situation. How are you gonna feel when that same situation happens to you or something similar, and then everyone else is kicking you while you're down?
Yeah, but I'm not scamming kids.
It's not even just the loot station situation. It's like something like you've had a few things where people have made hit pieces on you. It's like those same exact creators, right? Like how are they gonna feel when they're on the reciprocating end, and then they get all these other creators giving them validation? Like it's just like,
and I could be the one to do it.
You can do it. Yeah, and it's like, and that's the thing I'm saying too, is like as a creator, I guess if people are listening to this as a creator, like even if you don't like the person, like the content they make, like I feel like you should always approach it from a creator's point of view of like, how would you want the situation treated with you? Would you want all these people that you thought were friendly or friends of you to like, would you like it all of a sudden if they start bashing you randomly and they start going with the mob of, yeah, this guy deserves it, this guy sucks, blah blah blah? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just
sad.
It's very sad, because I know damn well they would not want that same hate reciprocated to them unjustly, and they would get so upset when they see other creators doing it, and it's just irresponsible. Like I truly think it's irresponsible. Like you set that, like your viewers going to a comment section and then seeing how you're reacting to something that's like objectively just not a good thing. Like it just sets a bad precedent for your character. Well, I mean, it is like you're sitting there just because you saw another creator comment a certain thing. Now you're gonna agree with the masses and ruin your whole image and all your dignity and stuff just to be in agreement with other people. It's disgusting.
And like you were,
when
you and I were talking earlier, it has such an effect on small channels.
Yep, it really does. And then it's just like you also, the way other creators interpret that, and then it's like your viewers, you know, people that liked you then see you act that way, like how that's going to affect you moving forward after the situation's blown over and you lose your little relevancy of being in this little mob of hate.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of that makes sense, but
no,
I mean, it's just disgusting. And so
But on the bright side of things, we've been getting like a nice content group with a nice solid community behind it. A lot of great people. Over on this channel. And I still love the fact that everybody's kind of like starting to share viewers, which is really cool. Like I'm seeing from your faces in both your comment sections, like PBJ. And by the way, guys, I love it. I love it for anybody watching this part of the video. I love it. PBJ sent me some comments where you guys were talking about him living in a Cybertruck. So funny.
It was actually hilarious because I hadn't seen his video yet, so I was just like, why am I getting 5 comments in the first hour about uploading from a Cybertruck? I was like, what is going on? And then I looked, I was like, I bet it has to do with this. Watched the video, I was like, yup.
That's the thing, is like I do want to like reciprocate.
Good.
Like I'd say at least like 80% of my viewers and like 90% of the content creators I've interacted with, it's been nothing but like positive.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's a whole negative space. It's just the negative things outweigh the positives in a sense of how you feel, because it's just they get to you a lot more.
I disagree actually, because for me the positives outweigh the negatives. It's a new thing for me. I'm getting a lot of it kind of all of a sudden this past year.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you've gotten it.
I will say that
randomly, yeah.
I'll say that negativity does always, it's got a heavier weight than positivity.
Perhaps it's just like the transition I'm going through as a creator.
Well, see, it's like me. If I get a positive comment and a negative comment literally at the same second, the one that's gonna weigh heaviest on me in that exact moment is the negative one.
Let's say somebody you personally know says something that actually gets to you negatively, and then let's say somebody you personally know actually says something very positive about you, usually the one that gets to you the most is the negativity.
Yeah.
And I think there was some sort of study done, and it was like it takes 7 positive responses to outweigh 1 negative. Obviously that varies, but that's just a general something they did, and I believe it. I mean, like whenever I get hated on or whatever, or hear something I don't like in person, I'm way more upset. I mean, you hear good things most days. You might not think they're all true.
See,
but
and this is where we differ. I get upset because I can't do anything about it.
yeah, I mean,
I think that's what anger is in general too. It's just you're bottling up emotions that you can't release.
But throughout my entire life, that's what I was talking about earlier. Throughout my entire life, I had no problem doing it. It must be the fact that I've exited martial arts. I don't have an outlet full of testosterone.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe you need to get in that again.
I think a lot of it is physical because, you know, like when I have moments, like if I have a spurt where I'm not like one of my biggest outpours of like negative energy has always been like lifting weights and stuff and running. Like I enjoy like physical activity.
Well, that's
and it's like, I mean,
that's objectively good for you.
Yeah, but it's just like
Wow.
I feel like, yeah, like what you're saying, it's something that you enjoy, that you associate with getting that negative energy out. Not having that available probably definitely is affecting you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Yeah,
get that.
I mean, just crazy. I just wish that everybody would just be more chill.
That was crazy.
Need the
that we
chill
live
guy
in a world-
meme.
Just a chill guy.
Just
Hey,
a
that,
chill guy
That
meme.
died a while ago.
Now that meme's still massive. What you're talking about.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's massive.
massive?
Question mark.
So let me spring something on you guys. First of all, thank you very much for the conversation. I appreciate it. And I will have everybody's links in the pinned comment description down below. And I suggest everybody goes and checks them out. If you made it this far into the video, thank you very, very much. I'm going to spring something on you. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of you take on the outro. Go.
Go for it, Chase.
Like Clen said, if you guys are watching to the end, thanks for listening to us rant. You know, if you have any positive or negative things to say, leave them in the comments, and we'll see you guys later.
I better see a lot of hate.
What about the end card?
The end
Oh
card?
yeah. Check out
end
these
card.
interviews that we had with Clen.
Oh, there you go.
Yep, and then
That's a good
and
one.
then watch on the other side of the screen. We're gonna do 2 this time. On the other side of the screen, watch this video where we watch the Nick A30 response video.
Perfect.
Bye.
Also, use
Subscribe.
code Clen in the item shop so he can support his wife and his child.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I was going to say I don't know if I can include that, but I'm going to make sure I
Just
do.
edited them all.